Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to Just One Line. Today we're going to talk about installing Linux on VirtualBox. One of the quickest ways to get up and running with Linux is to install it in the cloud on a VM or on a local VM with something like VirtualBox. It's much more beginner friendly. It doesn't require that you have a second computer, and it doesn't require that you use your primary computer to switch from something you're comfortable with to a new operating system. Um, it's extremely convenient, and it allows you to test out multiple operating systems if you like as well. You can see that in my instance of VirtualBox, I have three right here. I have Arch, Kali, and Ubuntu. But you could have as many as you want. I delete and remove them all the time, and I'm constantly trying out different operating systems. And you can even install Windows and Mac on here as well. So the first thing you're going to want to do this is download VirtualBox. You're just going to go to virtualbox.org, and I'll have the link in the description too. But as soon as you get there, you're just going to see this big blue box right here. You're going to click it, and right here at the top, you'll see Windows hosts and Mac hosts. Okay, so you're going to select whichever one you want to do. For me, I would pick Windows, as I have Windows. If you have Mac, pick Mac, and then download it. Okay. So after you download VirtualBox, you're going to need an operating system to run. In this video, we're going to talk about Ubuntu and Kali. I picked those two because I think Ubuntu is a great operating system to daily drive, and it's also extremely beginner friendly. If I was going to personally start daily driving Linux instead of Windows, I would pick Ubuntu. And it's very easy to pick up and start using. Very intuitive, and it doesn't require a lot of learning to figure it out. It's all kind of just obvious, okay? Kali, actually, believe it or not, these days is also very simple to use and beginner friendly. There's a lot more to it. I know though, a lot of people want to get into pen testing and cybersecurity, and are really interested in Kali. It's kind of like the hip distribution these days, especially for people who are looking to learn about Linux and that kind of thing. So I'm going to include Kali in this video as well. Now, Kali actually has an option to download a pre-made VMware and VirtualBox image. All right, and you can do that just by clicking right here. And when you download it, it'll already be pre-configured and ready to go. It's extremely convenient. Ubuntu is going to be a little different. So before we go on to the next step, make sure that you downloaded VirtualBox and the file is on your desktop or wherever you saved it to, and you've completed the install. If not, pause the video, and then when you're ready, unpause, and we'll head on to the next step. So let's get started here first with Kali. To download Kali, the first thing you're going to do is click download, okay? And we're going to see that we have the virtual machines image that we talked about earlier. And you're going to click right there. And then right here, you'll see that there's different types, VMware, VirtualBox, Hyper-V, and I never know how to say that, but I think it's QEMU. So we're going to pick VirtualBox, and we're just going to click it and download it. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to download it, but click it and download it. Here, once it downloads, you're going to see that you have a zipped folder on your desk, okay? You're going to right click, and you're going to say extract all. So after your files have finished extracting, we're going to go here to add, and we're going to go to desktop. If yours is in a different place, find the location where it's at. Then you're going to open it up, and you're going to click open, okay? And then you'll see it's automatically added into VirtualBox right here, all right? Now we can see everything has already been configured, all right? The one thing that we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to go in and change our base memory and processor. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go to system. And here we can just allocate how much memory and CPU we want, right? So we can go, I'm going to put 4 gigabytes on mine. Actually going to move the slider. It's a lot more convenient. If you want, you can put more. I recommend using at least 4 with Kali though. And then I'm going to also use 4 CPUs on mine as well. Okay. Now there are some other options here for the motherboard. We're not going to really get into those right now. But if you wanted to check those out, you can find them right here. You can change other settings around. Right here are the storage options. Here's the user interface option, shared folders, USB, serial ports. All the other options you could want are right here. So if there's anything that you want to change about the configuration, you can do that. And then after we're all done, we're just going to click start. And then normally with Kali, the default is just going to be Kali. Okay? And that should boot your machine right up. I actually hadn't seen the 2024 background yet. That's pretty cool. They normally tend to change the background pretty frequently as they do like updates and stuff, and I hadn't actually seen this one yet. This is pretty cool. So that was pretty painless, right? And after we install Ubuntu, you'll see just how much time and effort that saves doing it that way. It's much faster and it's super easy to do. We didn't really have to set any configurations, and it installed extremely quickly. Ubuntu is going to take quite a bit more time to get up and running, okay? I'm not going to dive in to navigating around Kali or using it, as that's beyond the scope of this video. All your programs are here though, okay? And then if you want to use the terminal, you can just open it up, and there you go. So that's Kali. All right. Now let's see how you install Ubuntu. To close this out, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to click close, and then I'm just going to say power off the machine. Hey guys, how's it going? Here's post-editing me. You may notice some continuity errors. I realized I didn't actually have a good clip where I say how to download the image for Ubuntu. So it's actually really simple. You're just going to go to ubuntu.com, which we did already see earlier in the video, and you're going to click Get Ubuntu, and you're going to see these options all right here. We have the option desktop, server, Raspberry Pi, we want, and a few other options available. Okay, the one you're going to click today is going to be Ubuntu Desktop, and you're just going to click this green button right here. All right, I'm not going to click it because I already have it downloaded. But once you click it, it'll start the download, and you can save it wherever you want. I recommend just saving it right to your desktop so that it's easy to find. So to install Ubuntu, instead of clicking add like that, we're going to click new, okay? And we're going to have this window pop up. Here we're going to name our machine. So I'm going to name mine test Ubuntu. And then right here, where it says ISO image, you're going to click on this drop-down menu, and you're going to select it. Mine is already shown in the list, but if it's not, you can click other and find your ISO on the desktop or wherever you saved it to. Mine is right here. I'm going to click Ubuntu, okay? And then I'm just going to click next. Oh geez, did I already? All right, hold on. I think I actually already had a, let's see here. I think I actually, let's just say test Ubuntu 2. There we go. Yeah, I had already named it and still had the folder in there. Okay, so on the next screen, you're going to make your username, okay? And then you're going to make your password. I'm going to make mine very simple. I'm just going to say hello world, because I'm going to be deleting this immediately after anyways. I won't be using it. All right. If you want, you can check your password by pressing that eyeball. That's obviously not a strong password. Don't use the password hello world. I never would. I'm going to be deleting this instance immediately after I finish this video, so that's why I'm using a weak password, something easy to remember, okay? Right here, you can change your host name if you wish. I'm going to leave mine to test Ubuntu 2, and you can also change your domain name, okay? Then we're going to click next down here on the bottom. And then here you get to select your memory and your processor. Okay, I don't want to do 8, I'm just going to do 4. With Ubuntu, if you're just using it to practice things like basic commands and stuff, you could really get away with just using 1 or 2 gigabytes of memory and maybe even 1 or 2 CPUs. For this video, I'm just going to use 4 gigabytes of memory and 2 CPU. All right, then we're going to click next. Now here you can choose your disk size. If you're not going to be installing stuff, now there are times where you're going to have a virtual machine where you do want to install a lot of different things and you might need a bigger disk. But you got to think about this. If you're using it just to practice basic Linux commands, you really need a lot of hard drive space? Probably not. So I'm going to leave mine at 25 gigabytes. And I'm just going to click next. And you know, if you want to change any of those settings with the CPU and memory, you totally should. If you do want to install a bunch of things on your virtual machine, then go ahead and put 200 gigabytes or 500 gigabytes. Put whatever space you need. But keep in mind that it's going to tie up that space. So if you're not going to use it, you know, it's probably unwise to allocate it unless you're going to delete it right away. Then when we're done, we can review all of our settings right here, and we can click finish. All right, now it'll automatically power up and start installing. This can actually sometimes take a while. I installed Ubuntu pretty recently, and it wasn't super quick. So I'll put this on fast forward, and I'll meet you guys on the other side. Okay, guys. So because I put mine on fast forward, if your VM is not finished installing, you can just click pause. And then when you're ready and you get to this point, you can unpause it. Yo, what the fuck? Okay, so you may have noticed I changed my virtual machine. I actually had an issue where I was unable to log in, even though I used a super simple password of hello world. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I must have had a typo or something, and I must have done it twice though. But anyways, we're logged in. There we go. Hopefully you didn't have that same issue. So the first thing you're going to notice is this is not configured, right? So to change your screen size, we're going to click skip on all this stuff, unless you want to set it up, then you can. But it's honestly really not necessarily necessary on a virtual machine, so we're just going to click next and skip through it, okay? I'm going to say no, I don't want to send my system info, and click next. If you want to share your system info with Ubuntu, feel free, go ahead. All right, and here we go. It shows us some programs we can try out and install. I'm going to skip that for now also and click done. But if you wanted to, it's telling you you can use software to install apps like this, okay? And to do that, you're just going to come here. You're going to type software, okay? And right there is like a little app store, very similar to like the Windows or Mac App Store, okay? So to fix our screen, right? Now, depending on the version you're installing, because these do change, so depending on when you're watching this, you may not install the same ISO, you may have a different one, right? It looks like when I install Ubuntu on mine, I'm unable to actually change the screen size in this menu. On a lot of distributions, you can go here and you can go to virtual screen and you can change the screen size. In Ubuntu, I actually have to come in here and go to settings and go to display and change it first before I can change it there. Which makes sense, but also too, on a lot of other distributions, you don't have to do that. You're able to just change it in that menu. I think I also had issues in Ubuntu with doing 25. Yeah, I was unable to. It glitches out every time. I don't know why. That might be an issue with my computer. Your mileage may vary. But I personally, you'll see my solution to it in a second after it's done freaking out. So instead, I just do 1920 by 1080. Hit apply. Okay, keep changes. And then up here in the view, I just go to virtual screen and I do 150. Okay, which is good enough for me. I'm just using this for like command line stuff. Okay. So now that's a pretty bright white screen, right? I'm going to go here to appearance. I'm going to put mine in dark mode. And I'm also going to give myself a cool little color there. You can pick whatever you want, you know. And then I'm going to exit out of here. I think I have it scaled up a little bit too much there. I'm going to bring it back down, I think, to, let's try 125. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Now your mileage may vary. Your issues with the VM and sizing the screen on Ubuntu, you might be able to get it to fit 1440p perfectly well. I've actually had issues with display size in Ubuntu, even on actual hardware too. So it is what it is. But this is good enough for me. So let's say we want to go into the terminal. Okay, we can just open up the start menu like that, and we can say terminal. And there we go. Now we have a terminal to test our commands in, right? Now, if you learn PWD in one of my videos, oh no, you know what? Now I guess they do show it in Ubuntu as well. Yeah, so in Ubuntu you do see the path too. And I think it's going to be that way in a lot of modern distributions. I think PWD is kind of dying. There are still instances where you'll find yourself using it, but most of the time, the distribution is going to include the path. So there you go. Okay, that's the command line. All your other stuff is going to be right here in the start menu. This is a very easy and user-friendly distribution. It's super simple. I'm not going to go any more in-depth than this because this is just a basic installation video. But yeah, now you're started with Ubuntu. Enjoy.